Do you want to improve at a quicker pace? Check out GITGUDracing.com. I've coached hundreds of drivers, from real-life racers to sim enthusiasts, who experience rapid improvement after just one session. And while investing in top-notch hardware is great, imagine how much more you can elevate your experience by adding coaching to the mix. My methods are practical, aiming to break down complex concepts into easily digestible bits that are simple to understand. You can find reviews of the sessions I've conducted on the Fiverr link provided in the video description. Let's elevate your racing skills together. Now for the track guide. For turn 1, what you want to do is to properly position the car, because there's a bit of track that you can use at turning, and this is this part right here. So to the left side of the white line you have a bit of space in between the white line and the grass that you have to use in order to make a bigger radius into the corner, in order to carry a bit more speed, that extra kph, and also in order to be a bit easier to rotate the car. In order to do this, you have to align a bit and know a bit in advance, because at this point when you're approaching the corner, the white line is pretty much straight, but at the road sign right here, after it widens it up a bit more, like that. So very important, align yourself to the grass. Braking point is at the end of those banners on the left side, so I'm looking a bit on the left, but my vision is mostly center right, but with my peripheral vision I'm still seeing the banners. So whenever I'm not seeing them anymore and this pillar covers them, I'm applying the brakes. You don't want to brake that hard. And the main idea in this corner is to delay your apex as much as possible, because right now you see just the beginning of the curve, but this is a very long right-hander. So if you're gonna turn early, like you see the curve you turn, that's not gonna be the best approach, because you will run out of track on the exit, or you will compensate the fact that you're gonna run out wide by braking more. So the idea is to carry speed. I'm not picking more than 30, 36, and then trailing, still on the brakes, 4% brakes, 6% brakes, and at this point right here I'm apexing, and look what apex is. This is very late, almost the end of the curve. So you want to cut the curve very late, not in the beginning but very late, and whenever you put the power you stay on power, because that's gonna give you the exit that you want. Also make sure that you're using this part of the track. So to the left side of this curve there's a bit of texture right here that is not exactly grass. The road is a bit dirty, so you can use this part of the track without getting the 1x. The 1x that I have here was from the beginning of the lap, so this wasn't an off track in this lap. Now keeping the wheel straight and going into the next corner, for me the braking point is this compression right here. When the road falls on you it goes a bit downwards. What's important here though is to delay a bit the application of throttle, the application of the brakes, because if you're gonna brake exactly when you feel the compression, you will brake when the car is like this, with the fronts going down and the rear still being a bit lifted. You want to delay the braking point here just a tenth, 1/10, 2/10, to wait for the rears to be on the compression as well, because that's gonna be the most efficient way to brake whenever you have a lot of grip on all 4 tires. You can brake exactly when you feel the compression, but it's not gonna be as ideal as braking when you're 100% sure you have also the rears compressed and having more grip. Now applying the brakes, using all the track, so again aligning with the grass, and then long trail braking. I'm still trailing at this point. And then whenever you go on power, exactly like turn 1, you have to stay on power. You want to cut this curb, cutting here like this to the grass is gonna make the car turn more. So it will help the car point, because the suspension on the left is gonna compress a bit and the right side is gonna lift. And then the car is gonna just have a bit more mechanical grip for this corner to be able to rotate a bit more. Don't touch this curbing on the right side. This is going to be an off track if you touch this part of the grass. So very important to not use all the track on the exit. It's deceiving, but you can easily take an off track. Now for the next corner, we have a right-hander coming very quickly. My reference for braking is again based on the elevation of the track. So right now we're going into a crest, we're going uphill, going uphill, going uphill, going uphill, and then we'll have a portion when the road straightens it up. So whenever you're braking uphill, you will have a bit less grip because it's a crest. I want to delay my braking whenever the car is straight on the track. So I know I will have a bit more grip, and I know I will carry a bit more speed on entry as well. So my braking point is the moment that the car is on a straight road. Right now it's still going uphill, but right now it started to be flat. And whenever I feel this road being flat and I feel that the car is 100% sure with all 4 tires on a flat surface, then I'm applying the brakes. I brake quite hard initially, so picking around 80 or something, turning as late as you can. This was a bit too early, so if you can go 2 meters forward and then turning, that's gonna be ideal, because you want to take this apex is very tight. But if you're gonna be a bit later, you will have a better angle and you will be able to be on exit a bit earlier on throttle, which is gonna be important because it's a big straight. Wasn't perfect for me, but you see very closely cutting those, getting close to this cone. That's gonna be the next checkpoint, very close to this cone on the left while keeping the power on. And if you're gonna notice, I'm on power at this point, so very early here. Whenever I have this a black box in front of the car, I'm already back on power, keeping it 100%, very close to this cone, and then using all the track. I'm still losing, I think I lost 1/10 in this corner because I turned in just a bit earlier. So you see, these small differences can make a lot of lap time. Now for the next corner, for the chicane, I'm braking very close to the 50, so I would say like the 60-meter board, if that's gonna be a braking point here. Very close to the 50. Again, picking to 86 or something. Very important to be close here, like almost crashing the car into this box, into this tire box. Obviously in the race you will take a bit less risks, but when you're practicing, at least keep it very close to this one. Still trailing at the moment that we're going after the curb, because we're using the brakes just to make the car rotate, but when we're rotating the car enough, we let off the brakes. And in this section, in between these 2 corners, in between the chicane, the goal is to reach 100% throttle, to give it a blimp of 100%, because that's gonna spark it, the RPMs, exactly how we need it, and it's gonna also gain us some time. So giving it the 100% blimp, then letting go after we hit the 100, and again modulating the throttle, so we'll have a bit more grip on the front tires since we're gonna cause a weight transfer to the front. Staying very close to this curve right here, and immediately after we passed it, we go back on throttle, keeping the throttle pinned, bringing the car all the way to the left side. This wasn't ideal, I could have went just 1 meter more, and then dropping again the throttle to make the fronts point. Very important to not drop it to 0. You noticed here, whenever I took the second corner in the chicane, and also here for this one, I'm not dropping it to 0, just because you will have a lot of grip without dropping it to 0. So the idea here is to minimize the drop in throttle that you're gonna do. Now getting the power and cutting this curve, you see you can cut a lot here without getting an off track. Very important here. You will gain a lot of time compared with the others if you're gonna cut more in this part. See, cutting all the way to the grass and the sand. And here again, you can use this part of the track on the left side of the curve without getting an off track. Very important. That's gonna give you a lot of lap time. Now going into the next double apex corners, the breaking point for me is this part right here, whenever there's a change in the line. You see right now the line, the white line is straight, but afterwards it goes a bit on the right. The moment that the line changes its direction, which is around here, I will apply the brakes. So going to this part, then applying the brakes. Very soft on the brakes. The car will rotate nicely with a fixed setup without you crushing the brakes. You also keep the minimum speed up, so barely touching the brakes, 9% braking, downshifting to third, taking the first apex, putting the power down immediately and taking the second one like this. This is gonna be key for a good lap. It's a make or break corner in the lap. Now for the final corner, braking point in the middle of this Marshall post with 22 and the road sign on the left side, like right here. It's gonna be in the middle. Braking quite hard initially, keeping the pressure on. Then when trailing in second gear, you have to make sure you're using this compression zone. So the grip levels are dynamic in this corner. You have a lot of grip at the apex right here. But then as you go into the crest and the tires lift off a bit, you will have less grip around here. So you will have to modulate this throttle. You see that my throttle was going up very quickly initially, then a slight modulation, then back up. Just because the moment that I felt that the crest was affecting the grip, I just let go of the throttle a bit. But initially when I put the power down and I was in the compression, then I knew the car can handle going very quickly on throttle, like this section right here. Also, very important in this part, use a lot of steering angle at the apex. You will have more grip than you think just because there's a lot of grip around here. So make sure you're using the front tires, because otherwise you might get into trouble by going on the grass here if you're not using the fronts previously. And in short, that's a track guide of this version of Oulton Park. I wish you will have a great week ahead, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.